All right, my dear. Day 62. Day 62 of your juice class, of your identity shift. I think today I'm going to do my best to stay focused because some supernatural things are happening today. And yes, we have the girls having a guest appearance today. They don't get too many chances to come out, but they are slowly, they are going back to their feet. You know, when you lose weight, you can't choose where you lose weight. And I typically lose weight. I lose my girls. So I'm going to put them on Front Street while they are still with your girl. But I've already gone down about half a cup. So, you know, peace be to glory. Peace be to glory. I'm glad to be on this journey. I had to clean up myself for a little bit. Today was a little, sometimes things happen and they're just undeniable. I want to get into this topic of today, though. I think it's a really, 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 really important topic. And that basically is we're going to talk about why food gives you the love you craved. Now, I made a video about a few weeks ago about why you lust after food. Like you actually love the pursuit of food. You like thinking about where you're gonna eat. You'll like indulging. You like the chase, but you're never satisfied when you actually get the meal. When you've masticated it, you don't even chew all the way. Nobody's even taught you how to properly chew. Nobody's taught you how to swallow. Nobody's taught you how to properly sit with your food without digestion. Nobody taught you how to recognize nourishment and nutrients. You're always in a rush. It's impulsive. You have a compulsive relationship with food. And we really need to understand that food wasn't the problem. It's never food is never the problem. It's it was the solution your nervous system learned early on. And I'm gonna put in some neuroscience back because we like the woo woo and we like facts, that haven't been debunked, that have been valid for the longest of times. I'm sorry, oh gosh. Just pause with me for a second. Once you start fasting for this long, once you show that you are willing to not even sacrifice, you're willing to lay your addictions as closely. I just want to say I feel for you because I know the fear that comes up when your comfort blanket, something that you have used to console you, to comfort you, to feel any type of way outside of what you're currently feeling, whether that's stress, whether that's heartache, whether that's disappointment, betrayal. I just want to say it's not your fault, but it is time to have the awareness so we can actually have the sovereignty to decide whether we want to continue this or we want to make a change or transition. So sorry. I just feel like when you're just willing to give in for a moment, when you're willing to try something absolutely not normal to you, when you're willing to just put it all down and sacrifice, I feel like little whispers start coming to you, little signs, little synchronicities that you can't explain. And that's kind of just what happened right before I shot this video. And I'm like, girl, Before you go all the way down the street with this, trying to decipher this, let's get this video in. You had a great topic. You've been thinking about this all day, and what you need to speak on just starts coming to you. And the right people will understand, and the right people will they'll just understand. So I'm here to show you that you are not alone. Don't feel shame, don't feel guilt. We need to hear different perspectives to understand, is this why I do this? You're just all you're doing, all we're here to do, hopefully, on YouTube or any public platform, is to put the breadcrumbs together. And I mentioned in my miracles video, I forgot what day it was, but I had a huge decision to make. And it was going to be a huge investment. And I just felt like I needed to be in this room with these people. And the bank account and future expenses weren't lining up quite. I'm like, oof, ooh. But you get to a point where your body is naturally calm. You're not supplementing with caffeine, substitutions, toxins, all that. So your body actually has a fighting chance of making informed decisions. And I'm talking about informed physically and non-physically. And I asked for a sign and I got those two signs. And then I asked for another sign tonight. And miraculously, I got that sign. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, something is being unlocked. The veil. Today's a 3-3. It's supposed to be a full moon. It's supposed to be the blood moon. A lot of people call it the worm moon. And as you know, these last couple of days, I've been talking about, I think a parasite cleanse, like an actual proper parasite cleanse, is the next step of just amplifying this juice cleanse, right? That's what I've been hearing. Every other country outside of us do parasite cleanse annually, quarterly. Can you name anybody in your lineage who has taught you how to parasite cleanse, how to get these extra entities out of you that have the possibility they can control your gut flora, they can control your brain, because we know the brain mind connection is the first things that are developed as a human. They can mimic your veins, they can leach iron from you. A lot of us are iron deficient and we just don't know why. We think it's just, because our periods. It's so much research about this stuff. I'm like, why? And you know who this is going to really particularly hit? People who have had conditions that have been unexplicable. If you've ever heard from a doctor, well, you're just going to have to live with this, or we've done all we can do. Oh, is this, you're gaslit almost in the Western society. Like, oh, okay, well, I guess it is my fault. It's almost made to feel like it's your fault for having irregularities, for having perimenopause at 26, for having being pumped with so much hormones, so much birth control. And it's even 10 times worse if you're a woman of color or person of color. Black women have the highest mortality rates when it comes to Western medicine. I feel like so much pain can be prevented if we just learn what we need to learn and apply it. I'm sure most of us are more than willing to make the changes we need to make with the proper information and the proper awareness and the willingness. Who wants to choose to be sick? Who wants to choose not to be able to go up their stairs? I could barely go up my stairs at 27 because I had developed early onset rheumatoid arthritis. I was a college athlete. Are you kidding me? And you're telling me it's all in my head? Okay. Okay. And now I'm when you start learning about these things, when you start learning about your addictions, your compulsiveness, there's phase 1, there's phase 2, there's phase 3. I wouldn't have been so open to learning about this stuff a month ago. I'm seeing too much, I'm picking up too much in my field, and I'm learning the sensations of my body again. What feels like truth, what feels like power, what feels like God, what feels like my higher self, what feels like my body is telling me, yes, we need this. No, we should probably, we don't really need this. Yes, we should probably explore this. I'm telling you, it's inexplicable. And I'm going to try to do my best on this journey to talk from not so much of a filter as my filters are being dissolved. And I'm talking about filters as far as shame, filters as far as guilt, as far as this fucking weight we just carry. And I'm so hopeful after looking after case study, case study, case study, case study of people who had such similar symptoms to me. It's giving me hope. They did a parasite cleanse. This is something we're going to have to do for the rest of our life. It's not like a one and done. And it's giving me so much hope. And I think that's why I've been getting so much energy, especially at night. I'm like, what if this is it? And if you're a little woo woo, this year is the fire horse. And the fire horse year started February 17th. And in Chinese astrology, usually when it's your year, I'm a horse, I'm the gold horse. This is when you flourish. This is when you go in on your ambitions when it's your year. And then you have alternate years. Like I think my enemy is the dragon. That's when you lay low. And my best friend is like the dog, I think. And that's when you can have some wins or what, but when it's your year, you're supposed to go full fledged, and it's the fire horse. You got propane on that stuff. And I'm like, this is why I had the inkling to fast. This is why I had an inkling to go in this grouping container. Mind you, I don't know where the money is coming from, but it keeps showing up. And I asked for a sign tonight, randomly. I'm like, how do I know I'm supposed to do this? And it, just like the last when that video called Miracles, hopefully I can tag it at the end. I was like, it wasn't even conscious. There was just this voice that said, ask to see 777. And I went through how it just randomly came up multiple times. And so I'm kind of in a conundrum right now where I'm like, I don't know where this money is going to come from. I feel like I need to get this container. In this container, I don't even know where, this money's going to come from. I haven't even paid my rent. It's the third. It's the third. I have a grace period until the 5th. And I just trust that what needs to come up will come up for me. Where do you get that audacity? This is when worry and shame, the history of just chronic stress just comes into play. Why? Why? If your beliefs govern your third world, your outer world. Oh my gosh, I had a Zoom call tonight with my group, and how the pieces just come together. This is what my coach broke down. This was a random person who had a question about beliefs. She said, your belief determines your behavior. Your behavior determines what your second nature will be, what your second nature, what you do automatically. This is beyond your non-negotiables, become your core values, and your core values become your mindset. It all starts with belief. Do you believe the money will show up? Do you believe you are smart enough to figure this out? Do you believe in your genius? Do you believe in your brilliance? Do you believe in the divine force that is governing us, that is keeping your heart beating, that is keeping your lungs expanded? Do you believe? You say you got faith, but you stress in opportunities to strengthen that faith muscle. I'm just talking from personal experience, sweetheart. I heard a voice tonight say, when I was in this conundrum of like, do I do this? I don't know where it's going to come from. And just like how that voice said, ask to see 777, this one said, ask to see a pigeon. A fucking pigeon? What? It's so quiet. It's so quiet. It was right when I was like, I should ask for another sign, shouldn't I? And then it was like, ask for a pigeon. Knowing, sweetheart, I'm in Idaho. We don't have pigeons here. We got hella geese. We got hella ducks. We got hawks. Saw a bald eagle a few times. We got real apex predators. You either apex. We got the birds of prey out here. We got exotic birds out here. No goddamn pigeons. I haven't seen a pigeon since I left California 16 years ago. Girl. To lighten the cognitive load that I put on myself with research and learning throughout the day, sometimes I like to go into the woo woo and I'll reach out to my favorite energy, readers on YouTube or listen to some astrological scientists that, you know, can map out the planets for you and all that, like real astrology. And sometimes I dabble in like a little bit of horoscope, but by the OGs, people I resonate with, girl, this woman came up. And mind you, I'm not frantically looking for the signs. I'm just allowing. I'm like, girl, even though I'm like, girl, this is the last day to sign up. This is the last day to sign up. I was like, I need this sign right now. I was like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, 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 no. You don't even like to feel rushed. Why would you put that energy out there? Girl, I got home. We just got home probably 30 minutes ago. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I just can't keep working again. It's 10 o'clock at night." I'm like, I can't keep working." And I just wanted to come home. And also the owner of the house is currently visiting for a couple of days and he stays they have a whole nother section in the basement. So he stays for a couple of days, like renovates the house, cleans up the lawn, all that stuff. And so I'm like, you know what? My coach did say if you the best way to be blessed is to be a blessing to others. So I'm like, and I got free food when I was working tonight. Got like a free meal from Subway, but obviously I can't do solid foods right now. So we haven't been talking much since the transition happened to where they don't actually do the property management. They actually outsource to the property management. So I felt like I have a wound with that. That's what my last landlords did of 12 years. And as soon as they did that, they literally doubled the rent. I didn't even know that was legal. They doubled the rent. It was horrible. So I had some type of wounding around that. And it wasn't just gonna be me in the house anymore. Now they're looking to, rent out other rooms. So I was like kind of resentful for that. So the communication has kind of gone off a little bit. But I'm like, you know what? I know when he comes, he likes to play basketball, I think on Tuesday nights. And let me just give him the car. Like I have a car, let me just give him a call. And I told him like, hey, by the way, I got a meal. I'll leave it in the garage fridge. They have multiple fridges here because they own a couple of business or a couple of restaurant businesses. And I was like, and if you need the car, I'll leave the key on the key ring. I haven't heard anything back, but I'm like, let's just be a blessing for somebody else. Girl, I got home and I just randomly had these horoscopes playing. And she was talking about, today's a 3-3 portal, all that good stuff. Astrology, what it means energetically. And she was like, okay, well, I bought 3 birds. I got cards with 3 birds on them. I'm like, birds? There's nowhere on her thumbnail, nowhere in her messaging talking about birds. So I'm like, oh snap, is this it? And she's like, first is a woodpecker. I was like, oh snap, oh snap, oh snap. She's like, second, it was an owl. Oh snap, oh snap, snap. I was like, is she about to say pigeon? Third one, it was like some random birds of prey. I don't know. It was some bird I didn't recognize. I was just like, oh, okay, all right, cool. Something told me, and it's so gentle. Like, look through the comments. I'm like, why? Why do I need to care? Why do I care what other people say? Girl, baby girl. I scrolled down. I had to take a picture of it. I said, ain't this some sh girl? Taken today. What does that say? I hope you can see it. What does that say? Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Dang, you can't see it. Randomly, this comment pops up. Can you see it? Can you see what it says? Where I live right now, I always see pigeons and mourning doves. So I looked up on the top, I looked up like the spiritual meaning of a pigeon. It said, yes, in spirituality, pigeons symbolize prosperity, fertility, luck, fortune, and revolution. They also represent harmony, persistence, mercy, and wellness. And mind you, this group I want to get into, it's a wellness group of just, girl, I was like, Hold up, hold up, hold up. Is this real? Is this freaking real? How often do you think about pigeons? Never. Never. Like I said, I haven't seen a pigeon in 15 years here. Some people will say that's coincidence. Some people will say that's okay. Story time done. Let's get actually into the curriculum. Food, day 63. Thank you for being here. Food gave you the love you craved. A lot of people think their relationship with food is about discipline, but for many of us, food became something a lot deeper, a lot more inexplicable. For some people, food gave them the safety they craved, the love they craved, the consistency they craved. Because when we are young, our nervous system learns how to regulate emotions through our caregivers. Our first example of caregivers. Infants and children rely on touch, on soothing, on attention, on comfort, on care, on attention, on nourishment. These experiences shape the brain's emotional regulatory system. When emotion comfort is consistent, isn't consistent, is inconsistent. I keep on flashing back to that dang pigeon. It's crazy. When emotional comfort is inconsistent, the brain looks for other reliable sources of relief. Food is the most readily available and the most powerful and the most socially acceptable and all of that. So, eating activates the brain's reward circuitry, including your dopamine pathways. Now, I had to write this down. Excuse me. Okay. Sorry. The key brain sections, and it's so important to know what brain sections involve what, ignite what, initiate what, all of that. The nucleus accumbens. The nucleus accumbens is your reward sensor. The ventral tegmental area is where dopamine is released. The prefrontal cortex is your decision making. So when we eat something pleasurable, oh, satiating, oh, the sugar, oh, that's creamy, that's crunchy, the brain releases dopamine and other neurotransmitters that produce pleasure, a feeling of pleasure, and even like real pleasure. Like you want to be plowed by that whipped cream. You want to have that double cheeseburger with bacon take you in a back alley, and you ain't calling for help. Okay? Some people find calm. Oh, after just pursuing, after just, this is something I can control. Oh, this is something that's in the moment. It brings you back to the present. Food can neurologically mimic emotional soothing. Did you know that? Did you know that? You felt it, but I don't think you really know and have heard it like that. So in your childhood conditioning patterns, certain childhood experiences increase the likelihood of developing an emotional relationship with food. Some examples include food as a reward. Parents often say, be good and you'll get a dessert. You'll get a cookie. You'll get a slice of cake. This teaches the brain food equals love and approval. and we don't even know. You don't know. We don't know we're doing it. Our guardians didn't know they were doing it. The second way is food as comfort. When a child is upset and given sweets or snacks to calm down, food becomes associated with emotional relief. The brain, the brain is storing this association. When I am upset, or when mommy angers at is yelling at me, or she had a stressful day, and and one moment I'm hurt, the other moment we're getting a happy meal. I've actually never had a happy meal. We couldn't do that. A toy? Oh God, please, no. We got the dollar meal, and that was good enough for us. We're like, oh dang, we get to eat out? Oh Lord, hey, let's go. Let's go. The third is emotional neglect. This this one's right here. Emotional neglect. If emotional needs were not consistently met, if you weren't felt that your emotions deserved a room at the table, deserved to be heard, if the emotions and your needs were not consistently met, the brain learns to self-soothe. Food becomes a predictable form of comfort. Food showed up when other forms of care did not. That one, something went off inside of me. Just even saying that. And I'm sorry if you've had to deal with this. I'm sorry if this was your circumstance. But now that we know better, exactly. Why these patterns continue in adulthood is because the brain loves efficiency, it loves pattern, it loves not having to think outside the box. Once a pattern is learned early, the nervous system repeats it automatically. How you get to work without thinking, it's a pattern. You don't have to think much. You don't have to think much how you walk. You don't have to think much how you chew. You don't have to think much about how you breathe. It's all wired automatically. So later in life, stress means food, loneliness means food, anxiety means food, boredom means food. Not because you're weak and you're disgusting and you're a glutton, but because the brain remembers what once worked. We're going for efficiency, not effectiveness, efficiency. Well, it's quite effective. Food is quite effective. This worked. Your brain can't tell the difference from that working at 9 years old and that working at 35 years old. It just knows it works to help you feel better. When you haven't learned other modalities to how to regulate yourself, because that's not what's pushed, that's not what's popular. Deal with your emotions. What? You've been taught to deal with your emotions since you were 6 years old. Holy moly. And I think it's really important to understand why this connects to addiction. Many addictions share the same neurological mechanism. They stimulate the same dopamine and reward pathways. Alcohol, drugs, gambling, social media, doom scrolling, food, promiscuity, um, all of that. All of these can temporarily regulate emotional discomfort. That's why addiction researchers often describe addiction as misdirected coping rather than lack of discipline. Misdirected coping. If food gave you comfort when you needed it, that doesn't mean you failed. That doesn't mean it's all your fault. That doesn't mean you have to carry shame. That doesn't mean you have to carry guilt. It just means your brain found a way to soothe itself until you incorporate something more productive, something more rewarding, something that it can actually learn another way. And it's going to be aggressive at first. We all know how difficult it is to learn new ways of thinking and new ways of doing things. But now, as an adult, you can build new ways to experience comfort and connection. You have the freedom to do that. You have the power to do that when you're ready. You can do that through relationships. You can do that through movement. You can do that through breath work. You can do that through creativity, creating a YouTube series. So just self-awareness. As long as you have that awareness, oh my gosh, the possibilities could be endless. The reason, if you're a glutton and you don't know why, I shared that story yesterday with the guy I was talking to. He became a full-on alcoholic and he didn't know why. He said it was just recreation. I'm like, no, baby, you haven't got to the root of it, and that's okay. That's okay. Nobody really talks about this. I talk about this all the time. Nobody really talk. It's not a fun topic to talk about. We want to assume that everybody's okay. Everybody knows what to do. Everybody can govern themselves. No, it's deeper than that. It's so much deeper than that. Food helped you survive. Survive. Food helped you survive something emotionally, but it doesn't have to carry that role forever. Thank it. Thank yourself for trying to soothe yourself in times where you were just too overwhelmed, you were too scared, you were too confused. Your body did what it could at that time. Now we have the awareness, now we can choose how we want to move forward. Understanding your relationship with food isn't about blame. It isn't about shame. It isn't about guilt. It's about compassion for the younger version of you who found a way to cope rather than completely self-destruct. When you understand the pattern, you can finally actually change it. Sometimes that's going to be through a 60-day fast. Sometimes that's going to be through a YouTube video. Sometimes that's going to be seeing your family making changes. Sometimes that's going to be from a random stranger telling you like, hey, did you know what, you do this because of this? Food wasn't the problem. It was the comfort your brain learned to trust. Now we have the shot for rewiring your relationship with comfort and your relationship with food. Join me. I'm going to continue unraveling this. I understand where you're coming from. I understand the compulsions, the confusion, the overwhelm. Just why can't I stop? Because something else, primal and biological, is forcing you not to. I'm here to hold your hand and I'm here to tell you it's okay and I understand you. And we're going to get through this. We're going to educate ourselves and have an active choice in our life of how we want to show up and move differently. Thank you so much for spending this time for me. I hope you got at least one nugget out of this. I know Asha did. And I'm going to be here continuing to show up for you. So I love you. Have a great night from Idaho, and I'll see you tomorrow.